What if I told you that this journalist, Patrick Sawar of the Daily Telegraph, turned up unannounced at an activist's family home? Alarm and distress was caused to his elderly mother, who has lost 80 members of her Palestinian family in this genocide. And he turned up on the bequest of Stop the Hate. Yes, that group, the blue and white organization with Mark Burbeck, Nihat Gulbani, Kirpa Patel, Itel, all of those non-Jewish Zionists that have been harassing activists. He turned up to talk about a case at the JW3 Centre, a case that I was also investigated for, a case that was no further action by the police. So alas, it should be finished, but no. Patrick over here wanted to cause alarm and distress. So I'm going to show you the video and then we're going to come back and discuss it.
You've knocked on my home door.
Yes.
You haven't sent me an email. You haven't made any form of contact.
Well, I'm making a form of contact.
Yeah, and to knock on somebody's home door is quite a direct form of contact.
Yes. So I want to give you the opportunity to respond to a call by Stop the Hate UK for you to be prosecuted for anti-Semitic hate crimes.
Okay. And you're here acting on behalf of Stop the Hate UK?
No, I'm an independent reporter on a newspaper. We're reporting that Stop the Hate UK have called for a number of people, including yourself, to be prosecuted for anti-Semitic hate crimes.
Regarding what specific incident?
Particularly outside the JW3 Centre in Swiss Cottage.
In spite of the fact that this was already investigated by the police?
And what did the police decide?
Thank you.
So despite an investigation,
Yeah.
you haven't contacted the police?
Well, you don't know whether we have or not. We will be contacting the police.
So you saying we will be contacting the police indicates that you have not contacted the police yet. So instead of contacting the police, you decided to arrive at an individual's home, and I would ask you to please politely leave.
Okay. I will. Do you have any response to the claim that your behaviour is causing distress
You won't shut up.
people outside JW3, that you were involved in an incident in which an 80-year-old woman was left in tears, that you were shouting in praise of Hamas? Do you have any response to that?
I've already asked you once to politely leave. Now I'm going to have to ask you again
I'm giving
to
you the
leave.
opportunity to respond to these claims. Fine.
Please, in the future, do not knock on the individual's
What's your
home
email?
door.
What's your email?
Can you please leave?
What's your email then?
I've asked you for the third time to leave, and now you're smiling. Please leave.
The first point that I would like to make is the difference between the Times newspaper and the Telegraph, because the Times went ahead and doxed this activist, myself and several other people for the JW3, and wrote this damning article making out like we were some kind of ringleaders and put a picture up with me holding a flipping coconut, yes. But this Telegraph journalist had the sheer audacity to turn up at this activist mother's home. Now, he mentions that Stop the Hate UK are going after this activist and several others. Now, I presume that I am also on that list, considering I was doxed in the Times article alongside this activist. Patrick, you are not welcome to come to my front door. If you turn up at my house, you will be causing me alarm and distress, and I will be feeling harassed. As a woman, it feels very uncomfortable that a random man from a newspaper could possibly turn up at my front door to talk about something that has been no further action by the police. Therefore, it is no longer relevant. And Stop the Hate UK. I don't know what you're trying to do. I know that you've been pushed to the side by the other Zionist organizations and you're trying to remain relevant, but surely this is not the way forward. What I want to also know from the Daily Telegraph, is this acceptable behavior? When someone has made it clear that you are not welcome and you need to leave, to stand there in a condescending way, in a passive aggressive way, and to refuse to leave, and to have the audacity to go to a Semitic person and ask them if they're anti-Semitic. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I am absolutely livid, and you should be too. Is this what's going to happen now? Random journalists will feel that it's their duty to act as the police, the judge, the jury, and the executioner. His job as a senior news reporter, because I looked him up, should be to contact the police first to check the information that his snitches gave him. Yes, his snitches stop the hate. And I will be back to make another snitches video after this one. So that was what he was supposed to do as a journalist. I understand that. I need to check my sources. I need to check my information. I need to make sure it's correct, which he clearly didn't do. Instead, he went and harassed this activist, causing alarm and distress. To look into you, Patrick, because everybody has that moment where they mess up, and I will find it, Patrick, not just for myself, but for that young man you just harassed, and for all the other activists that you are thinking about going after. So bring it on, Patrick. Nobody cares about the legacy media. You're dinosaurs. This is social media. This is where the real online intifada happens, and you and your tiny little social media account will never ever achieve anything. So Patrick, yalla yalla bye bye.